I'm Times Union education reporter Tia Mitchell, and today, which is Monday, February 4th, Superintendent Ed Pratt-Dannals visited the newsroom to talk to Times Union reporters and editors about education issues. Pratt-Dannals has been superintendent since October, and this is his first visit here to the Times Union, just to sit down and chat about whatever was on his mind, and we asked him some questions as well. And one of the things our health reporter asked Pratt-Dannals how he felt about childhood obesity and what the role of schools were in helping to prevent obesity and address problems with nutrition. And of course, he said it was an issue and it's something that he is concerned about, but he also raised some interesting points about how it's another example of when society has issues and it seems to be put on the schools to solve or to be kind of one of the main ways to help address the issue. So he said, of course, schools want to be part of the solution, but at the same time, why does it have to be on the schools to finance it and fund it and still find a way to make it work with still addressing all the other academic issues at schools? And just personally, as an education reporter, I think it's something that I struggle with too, because there are so many things that go on in schools that reflect the community as a whole, but yet schools is kind of where the accountability begins. Even when you talk about crime and other things, you still look at schools to make sure that they do their part, but sometimes it seems unfair because it doesn't necessarily start at the school. So I guess now we can hear a little bit from Mr. Pratt-Dannals to see what he said.
This is a perfect example of what's happened to American education over the last 125 years. We decided a long time ago it was, rather than trying to change adults, it's easier to change kids before they become adults. So about every social issue, be it mental health, physical health, conflict resolution, being a good parent, whether or not you get pregnant and have children, whether or not you abuse drugs and alcohol, you pick the social area that's of concern, that's of legitimate concern. All these are legitimate concerns. I don't want to minimize those at all, but they have been placed on public schools in order to have an intervention that creates success in this. Each and one of those in and of themselves is appropriate, and I think we can have some impact on it. The problem is taken as a whole, they become a huge burden in addition to the kind of academic challenges we're trying to get, i.e. instead of 25%, 100% meeting college-ready skills. So while we're jumping that hurdle, which is huge, nothing's been taken off the plate. We haven't had anybody say, you know what, public school system, you all have enough challenge just trying to get this academic goal we've charged you with. We have other institutions that are going to take on the issue of childhood obesity. I haven't heard that. Now, are there people concerned? Yeah, there's doctors groups that are concerned, et cetera, but their solution typically is we need more PE. This is a good example. There's legislation pending right now on middle school PE that we need to add a number of minutes of middle school PE. Good idea? Yeah, good idea. How are we paying for it? Nothing. Zero. Mum. So it gets legislated, and then it comes to school districts to implement that with no revenue on top of a day that's already full because we're double blocking kids in reading so they're better readers. We're trying not to dissolve the arts program because that's important for a well-rounded child. We agree with that. But the problem is we're running out of days and minutes. And so the only solution to that is a longer day, a longer year, which costs more money to hire teachers for longer periods of time. So we're willing to take on that challenge if it's accompanied with the kind of revenue in order to accomplish those tasks. Unfortunately, that hasn't been happening in the last at least couple decades I've been around this business. And so it is a legitimate concern. I see it. I mean, just when I go into schools, I see more kids that appear to be overweight. So I'm concerned about it. But again, what's the solution? This has to be a community coming together to figure this out, not just give it to the schools.
Be sure to check out the other topics discussed by Superintendent Pratt-Dannals during his meeting with the Florida Times Union editorial board. For Jacksonville.com, I'm Amanda Warford.